When it comes to the offensive line, the talk of the town, as it seems lately, has been whether the continuing growth of chemistry between Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson, the arrival of Cam Jurgens in the latest draft class behind Jason Kelsey, or the return of Lane Johnson and having solidifying the right tackle position. Well, depth across the trenches isn't necessarily as great as we may think with the departure of Brandon Brooks. However, it is humbling to see a guy like Isaac Sayamalu, who is coming in at the right time, making the right kind of change. What is going on, Bird brothers and sisters? Lindy Endzone is in for the touchdown, taking the lead for the Philadelphia Eagles and Sideline Sports, one video at a time. And yes, I thought I'd be relevant enough to include the Sideline Sports Network that I am a part of, and wanting to continue, that advertisement as Philly Jim and I have concluded episode 5 of the Linc'd In podcast for Sideline Sports Network, and having Mitch Kofsky as our very first special guest on there and talking, as it is, the Philadelphia Eagles news, rumors, and the latest involving them, and really having a great time in the continued growth of that podcast, that platform, and what have you. So, but of course, that doesn't deter from me creating content on this channel as well, as my goal has not changed, and the next milestone would be 300 subscribers for me. And well, if you are new and would like to stay up to date with my perspectives and opinions on how I feel about the football team, well, I'd love to have you a part of the End Zone fam, and the subscribe button is the easiest way to achieve that. Likes also go with the algorithm as well, on top of views, and you guys already know the whole 9 yards. I'm not going to get any deeper into it. I appreciate it regardless in any capacity. But with that, let me get into a little bit of a conversation here. Not going to go too deep into this one, I don't feel, but I felt that it was important at the same time. Everybody is very enamored over the idea of the latest upgrades to the receiver position, the cornerback position, linebacker, defensive line, and it goes all the way across the board. But when it comes to offensive line, we have some of those pieces there already. When we're talking about the biggest guys in the trenches, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelsey coming back for one more year at the center spot, really working with Cam Jurgens, Lane Johnson, Andre Dillard is still here. Take of that what you will. Brett Toth is a nice rotational piece. Suo Peta, Coyote Awosika, somebody that they're working to develop and get a little bit better. Jack Anderson, Jack Driscoll, LaRaven Clark. And we've seen the unfortunate departure of Brandon Brooks. Well, that right guard spot wasn't all that attractive to see on the field at times. A little bit of instability there in terms of depth. And I tell you what, Isaac Sayamalu's return can't come at a better time. And him understanding that, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And watching the development between Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson on that left side, of the offensive line, and what they have been able to do. And, Landon's rookie season, when everyone thought that he was going to be redshirted with, two knee injuries and ligament tears, everybody thought that, he might not even start. It turns out that Mailata and Landon together have been quite the combination and quite the brute force of intimidation on that left-hand side. And, when you go to the right, it seemed to be a Lane Johnson who, from time to time had a nagging ankle injury. And, Brandon Brooks going through another Achilles tear, and how, mentally damaging something like that that had to have been for him. But in the case of Isaac Seumalo's return and him coming back from, I think, a Liz Frank type of injury and getting 2 surgeries, in terms of repair for on top of that. It's like right, it's right place, right time when we're trying to maintain the stability and we're trying to maintain the just the skill level across the board of this vaunted Eagles offensive line that you can easily put in the top 5, even top 3 of the National Football League, with some guys number 1 at their positions in these trenches. And I got to tell you, I'm very thankful for Isaac to go through a kind of humbling himself and understanding that, it doesn't matter whether you're a 10-year all pro or, a second-year guy entering the league. Competition is competition. It affects everybody equally, and he understands that. And, like I said, it's a kind of a, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of mentality when you understand that Isaac has been used to that left side for how many years. And now, in a case where he's kind of needed to make that kind of transition to the right side, well, I for one am pretty comfortable with him making that change, for the better, and being the one that I trust the most that can that can basically make that kind of change. As we've seen, it didn't work for Andre Dillard. Granted, it's the tackle spot, but when they tried to move him from left to right tackle, he felt that it was like writing with its opposite hand, and it didn't work very well for him. Where in the case of a guy like Isaac, who has been a veteran for how many years in the NFL and has proven to be a rotational piece that has that kind of versatility along the offensive line, it just proves that it's right place, right time for him to make this change and to keep that high level of play in terms of the offensive line for the Eagles. And I thought I'd bring a little bit of attention to that, and just to make sure that it doesn't go to the wayside on how much of a positive impact this is going to be for the Eagles moving forward, and Isaac Seumalo making this change from left to right guard. Yeah, is there going to be a little bit of a technicality? Is there going to be a technical difficulty to that for him? I personally don't think so, and he doesn't either. He hasn't missed a step. He hasn't missed a beat in some of his talks in the press conference. But going forward, this has been one of the greater moves for the Eagles, in terms of the offensive side of the football. And, I just wanted to bring some attention to that, going forward into training camp and whatnot. But let me know what you guys think on this transition from left to right guard for Isaac. Is it going to prove to be one of the one of the better decisions for the Eagles, when we understand that maybe they would have moved a guy like Jack Driscoll there, or maybe switch over Sua Opeta? Who knows? But I think that this was the best choice that they could have made for the offensive line. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments on this. But with that said, I will catch you guys later on that one. You already know the deal. Fly Eagles fly, bleed green. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Have a good night, and I will see you next time.